What's good, everyone? Night Cage here. So, alright, so I'm back. Wanted to show you guys something. I've been playing around with formations. And before, you didn't really have to worry too much about your battle formation. Now you do. Because what I've been doing is just kind of experimenting. You guys know that, like, now under the new rules, if a unit is shooting at you, all of your wounds have to come from the front of your line. They have to come from the model. It says model to model basis. This means that there won't be any more taking casualties from the back of your formation. There won't be any more, picking out the models on your back line. So now you have to pick models on the front line, those closest to the shooting, on a model-to-model basis. Now, this right here is unique because it changes. I've been experimenting with this rule. It changes the dynamic of how we play this game. This game just turned into a chess game, guys. So let me just show you what I'm saying. One of the things that I've done, normally in 5th edition, I would have done something like this. I normally would have had my sergeant in the front and usually have him slightly surrounded, leaving a gap around, but normally something like leaving him slightly surrounded like this, but keeping him kind of close to the front line, because when I make that assault and I have that power weapon from my, this is 5th edition now, the power weapon from my sergeant, when I charge, I want it to be able to get my sergeant in there first so that he can start doing some serious damage. But now you have to be a lot more cautious, because now if I put my sergeant in this formation, as you guys can see, if I put my sergeant in this formation, like I would normally do in 5th edition, it's now really bad. Because if you look over here, I put out some Sisters of Battle, right, just to do this experiment. And now the big problem is, on a model-to-model basis, when this unit fires, and now you can move and fire rapid-fire weapons at their full distance. Now when this unit fires, look at where the wounds are going to have to come from now, guys. Those front two guys and my sergeant are now in the front, and these guys on the corner. So if they get a bunch of wounds, my first two lines, my sergeant is now going, it is not going to be any getting around it. My sergeant is now going to be taking saves early. So now you have to think about, you really have to think about how you're going to put your units down. What their battle formations is going to be like is very important now, because now we're talking about, the rule book says model-to-model basis. That means that you are measuring range not from the unit anymore. You're measuring range now from each individual model. There's some guys that are going to be out of range. So we have to completely rethink this thing. So one of the things that I've done is to maximize my my effectiveness. One of the things that I'm now doing with Squad Moloch is I've redefined the way that I'm lining these guys up. And so what I've done now is I have my corporal here, and I'm now putting my sergeant next to the corporal and just kind of keeping him in the back. And now with the 2d6, it's very likely that you can get a pretty good roll. And so if you play it right, you might be able to get, I should be able to get my sergeant into position where he can do his thing. So I've been kind of playing around with this. So I'm going to start with the sisters, and I'm going to just have them do some shooting here, and I just want to kind of let you guys see how this thing plays out. So what I have over there in the sisters unit, I have 6 bolters and a heavy bolter. So yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead really quickly and do the 6 bolters and the heavy bolter. Now, there are some other changes to the rules. It now says that you do not roll individually. So I don't know if if everybody played this way, but it used to be, people could do like roll the bolters and then roll the heavy bolters separate and then roll the flamer separate. But now the rules is saying that you have a wound pool, and so whenever the wounds are tallied up, it all goes into the wound pool, and you don't go, okay, I got 1 wound, he's down. I got 1 wound, he's down anymore. Now you have to do, rolls to hit. So I'll just do this really quickly. That was a very nice roll. So the red is the heavy bolters and the white are the bolters. And looks like they all hit. So the heavy bolters are going to need 3s and the bolters are going to need 4s. So let's see what we got. So in the wound pool, let's see, that's a 1, so that's going to come out. And these 2 heavy bolter 2s are going to come out. So in the wound pool, we're going to have a total, as you guys can see, of 5 wounds coming from the sisters towards the Fleshtearers. So now I have to take 5 saves. What do you know? Look at the front line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody on that front line is now taking saves. And so the way that you do it is you just roll them all. And let's see. And, oh, that was horrible. And I just lost 3 guys on the front line. So you guys can see how bad this can be. So that's going to remove those 3 guys off the front line to shooting, and that's pretty bad. Now imagine what could have happened if I had had my sergeant up there on the front line, and this is just an example of what I'm saying. If the sergeant had been on the front line, that could have been points that you paid for a power weapon now gone. So this is just an example. We have to go back and start rethinking formation now, because formation is the key. And now, like, even if it were my turn, you can see how devastating this could be. For example, you have the 2 modes, right? And I could, let's say I want to use my jump pack during the assault phase. So we can now pre-measure. So I'll put out my 6 inches, right? So this is my measuring tape here. I'll put out my 6 inches, and I'm going to just do this really quick. So just to kind of show you guys. So normally, when you do these kind of moves, usually people would just make their moves like this. Just make the moves really quickly. And then when you make your move, that's it. No more of that kind of stuff, guys. No more, because now you have to think about how your formation is going to be at the end of your moving. Because if you make a mistake during your formation, now you risk, especially since the rules have changed so much, now you risk losing valuable models with special weapons, with power weapons, so forth and so on. It can be bad. So just wanted to give you guys a little food for thought. So if you're playing any of these assaulting armies out there, guys, you really have to start thinking now. You can't just run out and just assault the nearest thing to you anymore. It doesn't work out that way. Now you have to really think about your formation. You have to really, really use fire support now. Rapid firing weapons are a lot more dangerous now. They can move and shoot. So major, major, major changes, guys. So we're going to be rethinking this thing. I'm rethinking things. So I hope you guys enjoy. Peace.